Hi Sagittarius, Sagittarians, I'm Marianne. Welcome to your May reading and welcome to Marianne's Mystic Conventions. I really appreciate everybody that ever stops in and wants to hear some of my messages that I have for you for the month of May. What a wonderful, wonderful change in the energy May has brought. And it was starting even before. I hope that you are absolutely noticing that, Sagittarius, because it's been a long time coming. This is a very different year in my lifetime this year with many retrogrades, even as early as November. I'll touch base on a little bit of that. I do have a format for those that are new. Welcome. I'm a psychic intuitive tarot reader, and also I get information, I get downloads. I will speak of them as they come. And a lot of times I'm really here to just do my best to decipher and to share with you messages from the tarot and the layouts that I give that hopefully will inspire you in your life and remind you of your powers and your gifts. And, you know, it's fun, it's entertaining, but it's also very, very remarkably accurate in a lot of ways. Now, I always ask that you watch your sun, Sagittarius, moon, rising or ascendant, definitely Venus, and I even say Mercury, because Mercury is the planet that has a lot to do with our communication. And I think communication is very important to you, Sagittarius. You know I favor you. We've already discussed this many times, and I still do. But more importantly, I love this month for you, May. I'm actually quite tired, and I'm thinking it's working in my favor because sometimes I talk way too fast and the energy might be a lot for a lot of sensitive people. But it's been an interesting, fairly long day. I'm actually leaving town, so I'm doing a lot of things to prepare for that. And that's what I'm feeling. Excuse me, my goodness, my throat chakra. That's what I'm feeling about this year in general, is that most of it was preparatory while there were so many retrogrades happening, which is all about internalizing and really thinking and planning, because there isn't too much we can do in a lot of circumstances to move things forward. You can't fight City Hall. You can't fight these planets and their energies, not to mention the eclipses, because, you know, we have them every 6 months, and we just finished with the last series at the end of March. And so they're still affecting us as well. But this energy now, it's very, very favorable to you, Sagittarians. So I'm happy to say that. And I can explain a little bit about it. But I started to say that I definitely like to elaborate more astrology-wise and go into more detail with my collective readings I do. And they happen to be usually late. I'll try to upload it late Sunday and early Mondays, or whenever I can, to have it out by Monday for the week. This is May 4th, which is Sunday, and I'm not sure about the collective this week. I have 3 more readings to do after yours, so I'm behind, and that's not normal, but it is what it is for now. So I want to make sure that I can catch up with that, but I'm just trying to stay on track here for you. What I will tell you, though, that I do think is important, that I'm not going to bypass, is because you're a fire sign, and, you know, fire signs are all about motivation and inspiration and just movement. And in your case, as a Sagittarius, female or male, there's this freedom seeking, you know, truth telling and seeking as well, part of you that's this Jupiter ruled, optimistic, beautiful, just fun loving, wonderful, positive kind of energy and archetype. And also, there's a lot of fire energy this whole year and onward. And specifically in the changes, well, first of all, the last eclipse that was in the series of Aries, North Node, Libra, South Node, happened in, like I said, the end of March, and the 29th, I believe it was. And so it's still affecting us, and that's your fellow fire sign. So I think this was a very beautiful sextile, as they call it. You know, anything with sextile is a good thing, and it's when it works, and it's cohesive, and it, it's just a better feel. Not as challenging. So yes, that's number one. Then we have the fact that Venus, the beautiful benevolent planet that was in retrograde for a very long time, longer than usual this year, and actually still has the remaining shadow period, which happens with every retrograde of any planet. It's like the beginning of it as we're going into it, then the actual retrograde or stationary direct motion, and then the shadowy to kind of build up the momentum again. Well, that's still occurring in the retrograde from Venus until, what is it, the 14th, I believe? It might even be the 12th, forgive me. Give or take a day or two. And then that's completely clear. So Venus is in the sign of Aries. So that's another thing with having to do with fire and how it really works for everybody in some capacity when Venus is direct. And with Aries, it's this forward motion and this confidence and assuredness that may have been lacking because we kept waiting and thinking, oh no, it's not gonna, the delays kind of play with our heads a bit, right? In addition to our energies. So I love that is in Aries, and that's going to be there through, I think it's June 1st. And then also, okay, that's another one, but why it's so complimentary for you in the month of May and onward is that Leo, or Mars, I should say, the ruler of Aries, actually, and definitely the planet of warrior, the aggressive, fiery, hot, passionate planet, was retrograde for so long. And then it went from Cancer direct to Leo, and then retrograde Leo back to Cancer, retrograde, and then direct in Cancer. And now, I think it's like 2 weeks ago now, maybe not quite, it went direct in Leo. This is your fellow fire sign too. So it's between Sagittarius and Leo and Aries, all fire signs, just such beautiful forward momentum and feeling good, feeling lighter. I think you tend to have that, like I said, disposition anyway, but it doesn't hurt to have these planets working in our favor that way. There are no retrogrades other than, interestingly enough, what happened this very day on May 4th, and that is having Pluto retrograde, which it does every year. I think the dates are off maybe a week or two. I'm not 100% on that. I have not really studied on that. I just know that it happens every year. And Pluto is a very important planet because it happens to do with our deepest desires and how we feel about ourselves. Are we kind to ourselves? Are we beating ourselves up? Are we really recognizing, and this is a big part of it, because it's such a, Pluto's the planet of the underworld, our deepest secrets and things of that nature, and our childhood wounds, things that happened as a child that we've never quite healed from or, released or wanted to. And sometimes it's hard to, right? Those things don't feel good. But in retrograde, once again, like with all the retrograde planets, it's going inward and really allowing ourselves to just fully continue to understand why we do the things we do and what can help us to release that and free us and then move to the best versions of ourselves. That's astrology in a nutshell. A lot of ways is doing that. It's the journey, and it's showing us, the symbolisms and the energies from each planet, but how we all, interact with that and for the reasons thereof. And then also the fact that it's cyclical. You can look back and see similar patterns with things, which I think is fascinating. I hope you do as well. But I've already gone on a little longer than I thought. I apologize. I hope you find that interesting because it involves you and it involves all of us. But in my conversation with you, Sagittarius, before I do my videos, which I always do, the color purple, which is my favorite, it definitely came to mind for your reading. And I don't know why, and we'll find out more as we go along. But I do wear the gloves, and my new brand is about expressing and hopefully teaching and explaining just how everything is energy, right? It's absolutely true. And color is no exception. I love color. I love how it makes me feel. I love the vibration of it. You can feel differently in different colors. And also the fact that I associate it with our chakras, which are definitely our energy centers throughout our body. I read about and tend to speak specifically of the 8. There are many, and these are from the base of the spine moving upward. Predominantly so far in the readings, many of the main chakra message for the month of May have been the top 3, which are the purples. The third eye, which is our intuition and our knowing and our ability to psychically pick up on things, because we all are psychic and we all have intuition. You know, some want to utilize it more, some, you know, study it more, some have maybe more natural talents than others and in different ways, because they're not blocking it. Like I said, we grow with it. We all are born with it, and then we tend to kind of maybe block it from our lives, or, you know, life takes away from that ability to tune into it. But it's always there, and it can always be improved if you choose to do so. And then the other chakra would be the crown, which is more of a lighter lavender, and then the dark purple, which is the 8th, which is the all-encompassing, and we're all in this together, connectivity of the collective and everybody. So anyway, the last one was actually, it was not that. I guess I just shuffled this right now in front of you and I spaced it out. The last one, I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was definitely the heart. Yeah, that's right. It was the heart. But let me just show you, because it's right here, and I've also got the crystal that I wear. And so I'm going to do a chakra check, because Spirit wants you to be specifically aware of this particular chakra for the month of May. And then I'm going to do a 6-card layout, and I'm going to finish with about 3 oracle messages, okay? So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you resonate, and don't feel like, that doesn't sound like me at all. Remember, you are more than your sun sign, Sagittarius, and you can watch if you choose to find out what that is, or if you certainly already know. Check them all out. We're so multi-layered. There's so much to us, you know. It's really quite fascinating, and it gives you much more in-depth, you know, as to what's going on and why. So anyway, I'll just put this behind my back. And once again, this doesn't mean there's anything wrong per se, but sometimes there are times when these chakra centers get blocked, or they get, you know, restricted for various reasons. And so on the cards are these beautiful mantras that you can say that I really swear by, because I do a little ritual every morning. It doesn't take long, but I ask to open every one of my chakras. And all of them are equally as important. They're just in different various areas, you know, helping us to be our most vital, important, you know, self-expressions. And so let me see what you got for you. You've got what actually Libra got. This is our 2nd chakra. This is really beautiful. This is the sacral chakra. And this is the part of us that is just so incredibly capable of creativity and pleasure and the energy and just, you know, sensuality and phenomenal energy that creates life. It creates anything we want. You know, you're somebody that likes to try things. You're so open to a lot of things. You're a mutable sign, Sagittarius. So I like seeing this for you right off the bat, but I really love what the saying says, and I'm going to read that to you now. So this is the 2nd chakra, and it is effervescence, creativity sparkles from my being. My life's path is clear and founded in love, respect, and adventure. And boy, do you love adventure. I have not known one Sagittarius, and I've known a lot. My son is the Sagittarius, who do not absolutely require, along with passionately enjoy traveling and adventure. So yeah, I just love it. So this is the chakra to consider. And do let me know if it resonates by the end of this month, if you feel so inclined. I would love to have everybody comment and have this communication going as this channel builds. And I'm going to set this down here. And like I said, there's a correlating... Let me go into it real quick for the sacral. The sacral. Here it is. Well, it's already on there. I don't believe I've taken it off because I wear 2 different necklaces, but I can double check that for you. Right over here. Nope, I'm wrong. So the last one I said was done with the heart, and I've still got the beautiful green avatine that comes with this beautiful gift package, and I got it as a gift where I get to wear these and infuse the readings with it. But for you, it is going to be the sacral chakra is this beautiful carnelian. And the words associated say creativity, pleasure, and joy. Perhaps you are noticing, because I didn't mention it, more of this very strong desire to bring out the crafty, more creative, whatever that is. I mean, you don't have to be an artist, but you might want to be. You might say, I've never taken a painting class. I want to work with pottery. I mean, the list is non-ending, right? I used to dance for years when I was growing up, and I haven't in a while. Now I've got this really strong desire to take some line dancing and ballet again, and just the body movement is super important for us anyway, and it always feels good. I always feel good after I'm dancing. I'll do it in my living room whenever I can, kind of free-for-all style. But yes, the carnelian. I share my gifts with the world with both ease and grace. I have the power to create and change. Now, the one thing I didn't say, and I say I don't say a lot, but I can say it as I'm doing this and still kind of keep this reading going. But it's all important. And another very important energy is the fact that there's a lot of focus on Aries, once again, your fellow fire sign. So that's going to be potent for some time to come. And I think it's positive. I'm not going to say anything else but that. We take from everything what we choose. But Neptune, the planet of imagination, you know, the god of the underworld and the sea and the water and the imagination and creativity and all sorts of beautiful things, has changed signs from Pisces into Aries. And it will stay there through, I believe it's September or so, goes back into Pisces. But it comes back into Aries and stays next February 2026 for 14 years, which is what it does when it reaches any sign. And this is huge. So as I said, if you're noticing it, it also has to do with spirituality and that sort of, you know, awakening, if you will, and maybe changing your thoughts on that and your beliefs in religious ways. I don't know. I think it's pretty amazing. So let me know. And it doesn't happen overnight. You've got 14 years. But you might be quite surprised and also very, very intrigued and interested in pursuing it in some way, or, you know, studying it, or going abroad to see these beautiful, for example, in Rome, all these wonderful churches and things. And I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. It's coming into mind. But these are big changes happening astrology-wise that have never happened in a lifetime. So we're all a part of that. As I said, I think it favors you, though, because you are a fire sign. So anyway, this deck is called the Spiral deck for obvious reasons. It's got these really cool spirals on the outside of the deck. And it is all, to me, about the infinity and the never-ending, you know, life and afterlife and just the abundance of life. You know, we have been taught, I think, when we were younger that, oh, I have to be careful because, you know, I don't have a money tree and all, you know, all these different ideas about money and currency and finances, because we heard them or something happened that, you know, maybe tripped us up or maybe made us believe that that was the way it always had to be. But knowing now, I'm sure, as long as you're alive, with all the differences that are occurring with even finances and cryptocurrency and that sort of thing. I mean, it's a sign of the times. You know, Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. It went into it finally last year after many, many, many years, decades, and so forth. And it'll be in Aquarius for 20 years plus. And that's all about technology and innovation and, you know, outside of the box thinking and entrepreneurial endeavors and your own, you know, magical thoughts and creative ways to make your life the way you want it to be, and not necessarily because it was done that way for all these years. It can be brand spanking new and original. And that's very, very, very complimentary to you as well. Air signs, which is what Aquarius is, and fire are very, very compatible. They just work together well. So I'm going to do the 6-card spread for you. And it's going to be the past, present, and future with the clarification card. And then I'll set you on your way, because I know you got things to do, right, Sagittarius? I know you. I know how you are. I've known many, like I said. I actually have one planet in Sagittarius. It is Saturn, and I feel like that's a great place to have Saturn, because once again, it's of the higher learning and the truth. What is the truth? I mean, everyone has their own version, I suppose, but it's a thing that I think Sagittarius take very seriously, and they seek it. And for an example, my uncle was a Sagittarius, and he was a priest. He was a Jesuit order priest. He knew from a very young age he was going to be one, and he became ordained at 18, and he was a priest until he passed away, and we left this this planet in 2021 for 70 years. What an amazing guy. What an honestly beautiful man who he just truly wanted to be of service. And he used to, everyone knew him. He taught, he taught theology, he wrote books on it. He was in the Vatican for a while, in Rome. I mean, he was a Sagittarius. He had that truthful belief in what he did, and God love him for it. I love that guy. So for you, recent past moving into this is the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, this is something that I really didn't expect to see, but it kind of makes sense, because I think, as I said, with all the delays, and I would say specifically Venus retrograde, it has to do with money too. Venus is a great planet, and it's so full of love and power and magic and beauty and feeling good and, looking good and smelling good and tasting things, and all the senses are involved. Well, we're in Taurus season, and Taurus is also ruled by Venus, so that makes sense. As an earth sign, they're very much in tune with the earthly pleasures and the things you can see, feel, and the grounded, the ground beneath our feet, and getting in nature and things of that nature. Well, things were delayed, and I think a lot of us, myself included, I was affected by my finances. My business slowed way down. And then Mars being in retrograde to boot, and on top of it, it was serious. I'm like, oh my, okay, I'm going to have to go back to getting yet another job. And that's not uncommon for me. It's something we got to do. We make things work when we really want things to work. And I think that's what had happened in the recent past moving in. You're like, well, wait a minute, I have to refigure things and think things through. It also can have a lot to do with your self-worth, and something that you feel somehow along the way you weren't enough. And I even hate saying that. I certainly understand it, though. I certainly have done that and felt that. And it's because of something someone said once. And, when you're younger, you're very vulnerable and impressionable. And, as a parent myself, we're not perfect. Sometimes we have people and parents and authority figures, and they say stuff, and they're just figuring out stuff on their own too, right? But it doesn't always make you feel good in the process, and you kind of retain that. Well, you need to just remember, 5 is halfway to 10. 10 is the ultimate when it comes to the pentacles. And the pentacles, once again, are coins, but they're also our value, our self-value, and the important things of sustenance in our life, stability, and so forth. You may have felt that was shaky, and it's fully understandable. Let's see what the, sorry about that, I dropped my little wand. Clarification on that is, there you go. You started out thinking, oh man, I don't know, man. And then you felt that energy, Sagittarius, and you saw it and knew things were starting to move forward, and they are. And they will continue to. And it's just riding the wave in the cycles, like I said. This one was particularly long. It wasn't like good things were happening during it as well, because you make sure of that. But you got the 9 of Pentacles to clarify this. This is such an independent, freedom-seeking card. It is showing you that you have worked and toiled. There, once again, are the Pentacles. You are in a plush garden, an abundant garden, and you worked for this. You reap what is it? You're reaping what you sowed. You're making sure that you're generous and you give, which I know you to be, Sagittarians, to a fault at times. But you also make sure that, you always have some kind of, for that rainy day, sunny day, whatever. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous recognition of what you've put into your life to this point, okay? And yes, we go through those periods and we have those doubts. We are human, but you're really coming out of that nicely. This is a 9-year of completions, and believe me, there's so much of that happening. Transformations everywhere I look. People of neighbors from 20 plus years and more moving to another state. Family members moving to another state, out of this state that have been their whole lives, and jobs, new jobs. We need that. We need to continually evolve. We need to grow, and you love this. I don't think you like to be stuck anywhere, Sagittarius, if I'm going to be completely honest, and this flows really well with you. So present now, your card is the 9 of Cups. So you've got 2 nines. The 9 of Cups is beautiful. The 9 of Cups, first of all, the cups of the water. They're the energy of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And water is receptive. Water is fluid. Water is sensitive. Water is, they're able to, there's this feel about it. It's all emotion. It's just like this currents, the moon controls the tides. We have much water in our body. Many Cancers that are ruled by the moon, and water signs in general. There's this extra sensitivity and awareness that they have, and they can pick up on, people's moods, and it can be an overbearing kind of gift at times. It's called empathy or empathic, and being able to recognize that maybe with yourself. But these are dreams coming true. These are wishes fulfilled. Let me not get too far down the beaten path. This is you making that creative, dreamlike manifestation ability come to life, and there's only one left of the to make the 10. But it's not reminding yourself that you're not going to go crazy. Neptune can kind of do that. I think it's less that way with it being in Aries now, because Aries is pretty straightforward and like, okay, let's get serious in a way that it's can be fun, but I'm not going to be wishy-washy. We're going to actually make our dreams happen now. When it was in Pisces, which it just moved in from being, into Aries, it was definitely capable of manifesting, but there was more of a like, but yeah, it's just kind of getting caught up in our dreams instead of really making them and pursuing them and putting in action sometimes. I love this though. I absolutely love it. Clarification on that. Knight of Wands, there you go. You're not fooling around. You've got that power and that beautiful energy working with you, with the Mars and the perfect planet, in the perfect sign of Leo. Leo is all about recognition and fun and excitement and power and, and passion and all the things that all the fire signs represent, and then some. So that's fantastic. Not only are you going to think and dream about stuff, you're putting it into reality for yourself. You're not holding back anymore. We've all waited long enough. Okay, this is great. I like this for you. I like that it's coming up in that way. What about the possible immediate future? 3 of Cups, time to celebrate. Time to go on that vacation. You got money aside. You made that happen. You're out of your slump. The 5 of Pentacles, if that were the case. You're really being more savvy about your investments, and even maybe just cutting back and thinking, I know it's not something I've ever really known about a Sagittarius, or any fire sign for that matter. But yeah, you understand the importance of that. And finding deals. That was the thing about retrogrades that I do want to say, because there's great things in every aspect of the energies, and that is that you can find these amazing deals. This is celebratory, but this tells me that with the 3, it's about growth, it's about other people, some special occasion of anniversary, maybe what have you, being celebrated. But the pumpkins tell me it's kind of a time situation that could possibly be happening in the fall. So while you're building and this momentum is really happening, you'll really see the fruits of your labor, or the harvest, by the fall. So something very important is going to be happening for a lot of Sagittarius at that time. And then for the clarification of that, you have justice, baby. That's right. And you know, that is the Venus ruled sign Libra. And I just want to say that anytime you see justice upright, it's saying it's coming in. And it could have to do with court cases. You might be an attorney yourself. You're waiting. You know how it is with, I have, you know, inside information about how a lot of things work that way in the court system. And it's a waiting game. It just is. It's always 2+ years ahead because there's always, you know, delays. Talk about delays. Well, they're intentional. It's part of the whole justice system. But I won't get into detail about that. I'm not an expert. This tells me things are going to absolutely work in your favor. There's a balance that might have been off. And, you know, once again, ups and downs, you know, hills and valleys, and just knowing that if it wasn't going well, really the only way is up, right? I figure whenever you're down and out, the only way is up. It's a song I like to repeat that I used to sing when I was younger in my family show. Don't even ask. We'll talk about that some other completely different, you know, video. But that did occur. But I just, truth, justice, you know, this is your absolute modus operandus. This is how you like to operate. And you won't settle for anything else. So I absolutely love this reading. And it's not like any other reading so far. Sometimes I've had some repeat cards coming out this May, but they're in a different position. No. Well, no, I've seen the three of Cups, and I don't think I've seen the 9 of Cups yet, but I've definitely seen the Knight of Wands, and I don't think I've seen the 5. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is beautiful. I'm going to finish with the last part of it, which will be the oracle messages. I think that's important too. They're just a one word and a beautiful, beautiful illustration that kind of helped to culminate the reading. And I want to thank you for taking the time to stay here and watch. If you are still here, please do like and subscribe and help me and give me some love in that way. I am wanting to reach the 500 subscriber mark. It's about 60 subscribers away. It will help me to start becoming able to monetize because I am in a very transitional period of my life, and I'm finding different streams of being able to, you know, make my life work and doing what I love, which is always just so amazing and beautiful. So if you're feeling it, I would greatly appreciate that support. Push that like button, even the notification bell, because, you know, it's hard to know when I actually upload them. But my goal is to have every monthly reading out. I do the Mondays, as I mentioned, and I'll be doing more. You'll be finding out as I go along. Hopefully you will want to come back. I would love to have you here. So the last 3 messages for you, beautiful Sagittarius, for the month of May. Come to the edge, baby. Come to the edge. 36, number 9. There's another 9. This is a culmination. This is like, okay, you're almost there. Look at this beautiful illustration. And this is not anything that I would find you having any issue with at all. Like, I think you can be very, very adventurous and, you know, what is the term when you're kind of a thrill seeker? But that can be an impetus for you to remember that, you know, when you think, oh, I don't know, you're just almost there is how I'm picking up on this. And that's beautiful. Once again, not having gotten this whole month for any other reading. Next card, a higher power. Have gotten this. Absolutely love it. Number 4. This is knowing that we are always connected. We can never be separate from our higher power, our life source, energy, God, Gaia, all of the things that are absolutely part of my miracle mentions and mystical mentions. And just knowing, you know, when you tune in, and that's the purple I was talking about, with your intuition and your crown chakra, you're getting this information. It could come through dreams. Give yourself a chance to sit and kind of take moments through the day to listen, because it can be a very soft, gentle nudge or message, but it does come through, especially in situations that are very important to you and you're needing answers for. And then last but not least, why? This has come up a lot. I think a lot of people are questioning a lot of things now. I don't think that's any secret. And I think it's important to question life. It's a 4. It's 3 plus 1, 31. Turns into 4. You want that stability. We all do, whatever that means. I mean, it might be an illusion, the term stability, but, you know, we can still strive for it. And I know that it's been more secure in my life than it has been recently, but I know I can create that in my mind and then therefore in my body and in my energy, as we all can. Ask those questions, you know, and if you're the person on the other side where people are asking you, you know what to say, you know what to do. You're the authority here, not me. But I love and appreciate you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful month of May. Full moon in Scorpio happening on the 12th. That's powerful. It's going to illuminate some very important part of your life, possibly culminate something for that new beginning. New moon in Gemini, your polar opposition, very positive for you on the 26th. Okay, so keep that in mind and write out those intentions of what you want to happen on any new moon. And once again, thanks. Take good care. Bye for now.